The Tigers missed out last year after a 6-year incredible run. Straight ACC championships.
What's up, guys? Off day. Hope your Labor Day has been awesome. Mine has. Baseball, Monopoly, sleeping late. That was good. And the Braves one game back. Even better. The Pirates and Mets got rained out tonight or today, and apparently it hadn't rained in 3 hours since they had banged it. So they're mini Washington, I guess. But the standings stay the same, and it was a really good week after starting. Well, we needed rain, Joseph, but really good week of baseball after kind of a disappointing start with the 3-2 loss to Colorado, and then Spencer Strider's magicness as 16 strikeouts, and then we had some close games, 2-1 on the walk-off walk by Robbie Grossman, but getting Sandy Alcantara. What's up, Jameson? I've never seen a more dominant start than what Strider put up there, and they kept trying to figure out a comp to Spencer Strider. I think he's a man of his own, but he almost reminded me of Randy Johnson, what he did against Colorado. So that was probably my favorite part of the week. But beating Sandy Alcantara the way we did, that was very, very solid, because we all know that Sandy can throw a complete game at you right away or in a blink of an eye, and he didn't do that. The home run ball has been a victim of the last few starts, and we took advantage of that. And I really, really liked our approach. And that Cabrera kid was was insane. So I know the Marlins can't score a run, but that's still an impressive series, because you're expected to basically sweep and to be able to still pull it off is nice. Jansen, we need Jansen to figure it out, but we saw what Snit did last year. I don't think he's touching the bullpen alignment. I'm not saying I don't agree that maybe we go to Iglesias, but I thought that with Will Smith last year and Snit didn't do anything, so I don't see it happening. I mean, we all can see that his mechanics are messed up, so I wouldn't mind it, but I think we're just going to have to ride it out. And Jansen is he's been through it before in LA with a couple of his bad stretches, so we'll see. Hopefully he gets it figured out. Yeah, I mean, if I were the Mets, I would be nervous too. I mean, we've done it before. Yeah, I mean, when was our collapse? 2014 maybe. That one where we got stuck with the wild card, and then that might have been 2012, I think it was. So we've been where the Mets are too, trying to hang on, but I just love the way we're playing, bludgeoning people and winning close games, and I really really like where we're at, and the pitching is kind of playing follow the leader. So like like our rotation did in the 90s with the big three. I think we have a big three now: Max Fried, Wright, and Strider, and obviously you got the big horse and Morton, the veteran. I don't know. I mean, you can't take any team lightly, as we saw in the first game against Colorado. If you let them hang around, and they're professionals too, so you just gotta play the game as it represents itself, and we've done a really good job of that. So, and that's a great thing. I'm really happy that we have that mentality of just playing one game and making that the most important game. We've done really nicely with that. Yeah, I think Kirby is starting to his stuff is starting to bite a little more, and the idea of the low leverage situations with Kirby is helping him, and that splitter is starting to bite, and that 95 fastball's got some fizz to it, so I really like that too. I didn't realize how his delivery was kind of a shot put type of thing. I'm happy for Shea. I'm glad it's all worked out the way we wanted it to, and I'm really glad that we kept Willie C, and I'm really glad we kept Michael Harris instead of Christian Pache. Nothing against Christian or Shea. I just think we made the right choices, and thank God Alex Anthopoulos is that guy, because I don't know that I don't know in my brain if I would have made that right choice, but luckily we saw a bit of Pache in spurts with us, so it looked like he was going to struggle with pitching and whatnot, so making that decision. And of course, the long-term extension with Michael Harris looks like a genius move right now, because he's just doing it all. And what was that pitch? The 2-1 game when he went the other way off of Oker in a 2-strike count, going the other way like that. Going the other way like that, and just continuing to torment pitchers one way or the other, because the Houston Astros found a hole with Michael Harris with the breaking balls, and now during his 12-game hitting streak, he's like hitting 379 on breaking balls, so he's covering up that hole. And I know we strike out a lot, and that's our Achilles heel, but I equated to strikeouts and then competitive strikeouts. The competitive strikeouts are the ones where you battle them 2-2, 8 pitches, 3-2, a lot of things. Competitive strikeouts I can accept better than those 3-pitch uninterested strikeouts, and I think we had a lot of competitive strikeouts in the Marlins series. Colorado's probably had really good pitching, and that might have been their best pitching on the road, so that was nice to see. Yeah, it does, and Vaughn Grisham kind of has that. I know he hasn't. I know he's been up here very limited, but he kind of has that vibe too, with the knowledge of the strike zone and willingness to pass the baton and things of that nature. It's awesome to see. and Robbie Grossman, I know he hasn't got a lot of hits lately, but he does put up really good at bats. So that's nice to see as well. Yeah, I mean, Money Mike. It's funny. My dad and I were talking because we're Yankees and the Braves in comparison. Because right now it's Aaron Judge or a cloud of dust for the Yankees. I mean, they've won a couple of straight, but it's Aaron Judge or a cloud of dust. But with the Braves, there's always something exciting that could happen, like Austin Riley going four straight homers, Money Mike doing what he does in the late innings, and just as a whole, Spencer Strider, Max Fried, Dansby Swanson. There's always something. When you turn on a Braves game, there's excitement. There's always something to look forward to. With the Yankees right now, like I said, it's Aaron Judge or a cloud of dust. Even though I think what Aaron Judge is doing is absolutely phenomenal and great for the game of baseball and great for his wallet and great for the Yankees, because if they didn't have him, who knows where they'd be. But I'm just saying, in comparison, the Braves are just head and shoulders more exciting to how we can win games and what possibly could happen on a daily basis with the Braves, and it's great to no, Ozzy is not going to be our leadoff hitter, I don't think, when he comes back. I think Grisham stays. I think Ronald's still going to be the DH at the top of the lineup. But that's just my opinion. But it's a good problem to have. I actually think Ozzy will bat 7th or 8th, to be honest, because Michael Harris has kind of fit comfy in that 6 hole. We might even move him up to 5, but he's because he's been kind of comfy in that 6 hole, being a RBI guy. So I kind of like that, and you let Ozzy kind of settle in a little bit and see. But still a lot of good problems to have, and I think Ron Grisham will get a chance a little bit in left and right field, because I think he deserves it the way he's played. Yeah, I mean, people get mad when all we do is rely on homers, but sometimes that's what happens, because you're facing the game's best, and sometimes that's what you have to rely on, because you're gonna have to take advantage of their mistakes, and usually their mistakes are something you have to hit out of the ballpark, just because pitchers are that good nowadays. But we really do. I don't think we move Acuna from the leadoff spot. I just don't. But there is a lot of options, because you go Ronald Dansby, Riley, Olsen, Darno or Contreras, depending on catcher, and then Money Mike at 6, Ozzy 7. Say you put Grisham in left at 8, and Grossman 9 in right field. But then you're leaving out Eddie as well. Who Eddie's looking a little more hitterish lately as well. So again, it's a lot better options, but excuse me, a lot of great options. Yeah, that lineup, as they put it in the Apple TV game the other night, throw some names at you. And I think we're putting together great at bats against opposing pitchers lately. Yeah, Colorado did strike us out a lot, but again, the pitching was so phenomenal in that series for us. It allowed for some leeway, and the pitching staff picking up the offense is a nice give and take kind of thing. And you got to give the Rockies credit; they were annoyingly pesky, or more annoyingly pesky than I figured they would be. But they were 11-2 coming into, or 10-2 coming in to the series at Truist Park for whatever reason. So that's nice to. I also lineup wise, I want us to move Olsen back to 3, Olsen back to 3 and Riley to 4. That was kind of because also it probably depends on. Because Ozzy is a switch hitter, so it also depends on lefty-righty type thing. Because probably even if Ozzy comes back and he's so dominant against lefty, you want to put him higher in the lineup.
Gets his hands up in the tight end Davis Allen's headgear. Easy call for the officials.
Playing left, I really want to. Yeah. He might get some. Well, Oakland's one of the bigger outfields. I don't know if they want to do that. But yeah, Riley was big. I don't know better, but he was seeing more lefties that way. Oh yeah, I forgot RC is back too. I don't know, but it's a lot of good problems to have on that. And then Jesse Chavez coming back to the bullpen. I know I'm kind of switching here, but I didn't address that. But Jesse Chavez coming back to the bullpen is kind of like a warm, cozy blanket because he's 1.76 ERA in a Braves uniform, which is absolutely crazy. But it kind of just seems like everybody's comfortable and finding their roles. Third time, third time.
Hey, I'm Jackie, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit is the chicken. They do golden brown, so juicy, it's so delicious.
Yeah, that and Riley sees more lefties that way because they want the lefty matchup with Olsen, and Riley crushes lefties, and that's why adding Ozzy back to the lineup is even. I mean, I don't know what we can expect. I really don't know what we can expect from Ozzy, but it's just like VG and Michael Harris. We all had, with the homer ball. I mean, this is picking at hairs with the lineup. It's all good stuff. So if we leave Riley in the 3 hole, then we're good. So I mean, we're also good that way. But with Ozzy so dominant or in his career against lefties, you could pick that as well. So, I mean, and yes, to answer your question, that's the third time Jesse Chavez has been back with us. So, again, it's going to be a lot of fun to see how the lineup happens and the move we have to make with when Ozzy returns, because yeah, I think you could put Ozzy at DH a little bit, but then you probably would rest Ronald. And I don't know that you want to rest Ronald because he's still a dynamic presence, but there's.
Here's to tell everyone that we just switched to Verizon's new welcome unlimited plan for just $30. Wait, did you say Verizon for just $30?
Third time through.
$30? Awesome. Yeah, and it's from the most reliable 5G network in America. $30 a line?
Yeah, I'm calling him at least one triple by the Braves this 2-game series, and I don't know who it will be, but I'm gonna say there's gonna be at least one. Have I been to a game this year? No. Logistically, it just hasn't worked out. With vacations, I had my wisdom teeth out earlier this year, things of that nature. Yeah, Shea is up for Oakland right now. So no, we haven't been able to get down there for a game yet, and I know there's only 9 plus the playoffs, but we'll see. I have not gotten to a game this year though. The last game I went to was in 2019 against the Cardinals. Yeah, hopefully I will let you. I thought Pasha, did they send him back down? Because I think he was up during the last when Washington played Oakland. I don't know if he still is or not. But I love Pasha, I really do. But he hasn't figured it out as a hitter yet, and I don't. Not that I know how anybody gets a hit when I watch any game, but Pasha just kind of hasn't clicked yet for him. But yes, Shea is up, and I'm loving what he's done, especially defensively. He's gotten to some ruts offensively, of course, but I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind Strider going 1. But I think it'll probably be Fried, depending, because I mean, Fried Strider right's probably your 1, 2, 3. I'd assume, as it's currently. But of course, Morton is your playoff veteran. But my worry with Morton is the home run ball. But yeah, I would say it's Fried, Strider, right, or Fried, right, Strider. I'm not really picking on the order there whatsoever. I'm just really wondering when Ozzy does come back. I know he probably has a couple more. Hey Garrett, what's up? I wonder what kind of move you make when Ozzy comes back. Is that the move? Darren O'Day has. Darren O'Day has had the phantom mystery injuries, I think. I can't remember what his first one was, but second one was a strained big toe or something. But he is eligible to come off the IL September 10th if we do need something there. So that is yeah, but he's pretty much gotten the phantom injury stuff for Darren O'Day, I think. But he is kind of a scary, even though he gives you a different look with his sidearm stuff. It's kind of scary. He can't really get rid of any or get away with mistakes, so to speak. So, well, yeah, Kyle Wright would be probably our number 2 or number 3. I absolutely love the little nice scroll draw by the Braves. I love it. That Terry trumpet thing, like I guess it's the first time in baseball history that two players have the same walk-up song. You know what I would love? The next time we're at home, that we just every walk-up song is the narco whatever. It would be great. I love that our announcers and our staff and our people are so invested as we are in what happens. It's absolutely phenomenal, and I just subtle troll jobs a lot, and it's great. That's why my big pet peeve is comparing schedules, because let's see, when we played the Brewers, they were good. They were the lead team. Now they can't hit the broadside of a barn. When we played San Diego, they were good. And then we lost 2 out of 3 to Texas. So when we weren't playing well. So I hate the strength of schedule, blah blah blah, because you still gotta play the games no matter if it's supposed to be a competitive series or not, based on the records. I mean, you saw it. The Nationals have won 5 straight games. They beat St. Louis today, or 5 out of 6, and they hadn't won. What was it? We had like 40 wins, and they hadn't had that or something. So Apple TV is what it is. It's free. I don't really mind it. Yeah, I mean, the Nats are terrible, but they are playing good right now, and you can't take anything lightly, and it's amazing. And the fact I don't know if the Padres are cursed or not. I mean, the commentary. I will say. Yeah, well, I don't understand the stats on the Apple TV. I really don't. Because when Riley hit that homer, he had a 5% chance of hitting a homer or something. So I don't really get that. But some of the commentary I didn't mind. Although the woman commentator called a couple of line drives ground balls, and that was a little annoying. Yeah, little disappointed not to play on Labor Day. Yeah, I get it, but it's kind of nice because I can do a live right now and not be not be stressed about whatever the game is, and we can just chat it up. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, not having a game on Labor Day is kind of Ben and Joe on the radio are amazing. Chip is Chip, and he does great big moments and things that. And Jeff is good too. But Brian Jordan, that's a little stinger. But I guess you just know when we have Brian Jordan, it's gonna be an interesting night of him talking about himself and how important it is to hit singles. But every time he has that key to the ball game, we end up hitting a bunch of extra base hits, and it's kind of funny. So maybe it's the reverse jinx there.
Expenses health insurance doesn't cover. Is an official sponsor of ESPN College Game Day.
Like when I don't know if you guys remember, but the game in Philadelphia when Matt Olson got that really, really, really weird wicked hop that no one would have been able to field, and Brian Jordan, who played like 30 games maybe at first base, said that he knew that was gonna happen or something, and I was just like, oh, that is bad. That is really, really bad. And I really like BJ as a studio guy. I thought he was good, but it's just a little hard to swallow. Hard to swallow with BJ, but again, it is what it is. And I really loved McCann.
Now on the McDonald's app, get 20% off your entire order every day.
McCann is a really refreshing announcer there. Yeah, Chavez, we talked about it earlier, but Chavez just fits very, very nicely. Thanks for joining, Simon. I will post on my Twitter when we have one again. It might be a live watch game, or it might be one of these during the off day. So yeah, and 3 more years of Raisel Iglesias, who is top 3 in the last 3 seasons in total saves. So again, AA is a genius. Take care, Simon. Thanks for hanging out. And Georgia Tech's giving Clemson a bit of 0-0, 3:39 left in the first quarter. But I mean this season, hey CJ, this season has been a whirlwind of amazingness, and I didn't think that. But you know what's gonna happen? Like next year, if we start off really good, are we all gonna be like scared that if we start off really good? Hey Jason, what is up, everybody? I know there's a lot of people in the chat and new stuff. We've covered the lineup, we've covered pieces of the bullpen, and yes, some people want Kenley Jansen to be demoted, so to speak, until he figures out his windup and things of that nature. But we saw it with Will Smith, so I don't think that's gonna happen. I just don't. But you have a lot of options. You got Matic, who seems to be kind of himself again. Minter's been amazing outside of the three days in a row in St. Louis. The last one didn't go well. Chavez, you can do anything with him and feel comfortable that it's going to be a positive outcome. Kirby Yates, we touched on him a little bit. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, we touched on we touched on your Kirby Yates a little bit, watching his watching him come back. Make who our closer? Let's see. Is there anybody else in the bullpen I'm forgetting? Colin McHugh. I don't think you can go wrong. I would say right is 2, Strider 3. But that's just my right is 2, Strider 3. Yeah, we touched Ozzy. And that opens up a whole can of worms. Yes, I think VG stays around. I think that might be, I don't want to bring it up, but I think that might be where Ozuna, you say bon voyage to Ozuna. Because that's the only, because Eddie, unless you get a phantom injury or a breather injury for someone, that's the only thing that makes sense. And then if Soroka comes back for a spot start here or there with his latest 4 inning strikeout, yes, the Mariners series is going to be very interesting because the Mariners are kind of like us. They started off pretty terrible, and then after that brawl they had with the Angels, they kind of figured it out. And wasn't the Mariners the one that wanted to take our nickname, the Night Shift? So that should be interesting. Obviously, Julio Rodriguez is the circle guy. Obviously, we touched on it a little bit, but you can't look past the Oakland A's, but we wouldn't do that anyway. But yeah, I kind of like the Mariners just as a fan. Obviously I won't be a fan of them, but I like a lot of their players and what they do. They're kind of a mini Tampa Bay Rays type of team to me. Obviously that Julio Rodriguez contract, I love it that he signed it, but it's so confusing financially wise. He has the opportunity to make $470 million if all the clauses and all that works out. So again, AA with his value and keeping the core together is absolutely insane. So speaking of the Rays, they DFA'd Matt Whistler. Yeah, that Matt Whistler and his numbers weren't like terrible, so I'm kind of confused on that one. You look. Yeah, he literally has a 2.25 ERA, and they 3-3, 1 save, 2.25 ERA, and they DFA'd him for whatever reason. And speaking of the Mariners, I kind of want them to break their playoff drought, and I think they're going to. But I feel like in the AL, it's the Astros in a cloud of dust. I'm pretty sure some other team will come up and surprise us, but I feel like the depth of the National League is so much stronger. Yeah, I'm still trying to. I mean, I don't usually question. I usually don't question Tampa's moves because they always have a method to their madness, so to speak, and so do the Braves. But that just feels a little odd to me, and I can't really figure it out. But I think the Toronto Blue Jays might have just Odorizzi is not going to be the closer, but he's taken some. I liked how he's looked the last couple of starts, though. Despite it kind of unraveling on him in St. Louis on Sunday, but that was kind of annoying. But I like the way he's looked the last three outings. I think he's kind of turned the corner there, so that he's an interesting piece to see what we do with going forward. He obviously will start in September. I'm just talking about like postseason roster and such. I don't know. How exactly he fits. And for the record, I love Jackson Stevens and I love his personality, but he's another one that I'm kind of confused. Not confused, but a lot of good options for the playoffs. I guess it would probably be who's hot as we go down the stretch. And good. And see what happens. But I'm glad I don't have to make the decisions, but we can talk about them. But yeah, the NL is so much better. You've got kind of as a middle bridge guy. Actually, I think Houston used him last year in Game 2. Maybe Game 1. Game 2, maybe, of the World Series and kind of carved us up. So maybe he can make that happen again for us. Kind of the Drew Smiley role. But yeah, that. But you got the Mets, you got DeGrom, and of course whatever happens with Scherzer. I don't really understand the Scherzer injury. I've never heard of side fatigue. I've heard of oblique issues, but I've never heard of your side getting tired. Like arm fatigue, that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know what side fatigue really is. But didn't he have a dead arm last year? Yeah, that was dead arm, but I didn't really. I was appreciative of how the Dodgers did that, because I think them using Scherzer as closer in Game 5 kind of constituted what we saw in Game 2 against us, and then not being able to go in Game 6. I think their use of him was very, very weird. So that was, I don't know if they're going down the same road that way. But the Mets can, obviously Edwin Diaz has been unhittable, so you basically have 8 innings to figure it out, and that can be dangerous in the postseason. And then you got the Cardinals, really scary with Adam Wainwright still doing what he does. Jack Flaherty came back today for them, so he's trying to ramp up. That could be a scary one too. Jordan Montgomery's been a nice fit for them since the trade deadline there. I think the Cardinals may be obviously the Dodgers are probably the scariest, but their pitching staff is a little wonky. I don't know. Max Scherzer is a weird. I love him as a competitor, and I hate facing him, but he's a weird duck to kind of figure out in terms of that. I don't. And then you got the Dodgers, but their pitching is weird. Tony Gonsolin being out right now, and they say he's gonna be fine, but when it's what is it? Forearm issues, you don't really want to mess with that. They don't have Bueller. You basically can only rely on Kershaw for one start, and you don't know what you're gonna get because back issues are weird. And Tyler Anderson and Andrew Heaney, they've been phenomenal this year for the Dodgers, but they haven't been in the big situations, so that's a weird one. Craig Kimbrell isn't the most dominant Craig Kimbrell, so their lineup, and that's just insane what they bring out that way. But anything can happen in the postseason, and we've seen that. So once postseason starts, it's all out the window. But I really like our chances and where we're sitting and the mentality we have, and obviously the rally ice cream and all that stuff has been really fun as well. To see. I'm actually really busy this week. I've got Wednesday, I'm going to see the trophy, the World Series trophy. Yes, it finally came back around to us, so I'm going to see that with my mom. Thursday was an off day. Tomorrow is a West Coast game, 9:40. Maybe I'll probably. I'm looking at the schedule right now, but I don't think this week is not great. Yeah. Tomorrow's game. Well, all games. All games that the Braves are playing right now is fun and entertaining and to watch. Yeah, we're on the West Coast right now, so I'll probably end up maybe doing one next Friday against the Philadelphia Phillies, maybe. Because with on the West Coast, it's late for my parents, and I don't want to bug them, and doing a late night live probably not the best, but probably next Friday. Definitely next Friday is something I'll try to pencil. What is my opinion on Riley going for 40 plus homers? I think he's gonna get it. Riley's been phenomenal. I think he's been. I don't know that I could have anticipating him being this consistent and good, but I'm not mad at it at all. But I guess he would be the first 40 plus homer guy since what, Andrew or Chipper, maybe, probably. And he's 4 doubles away from 42, so he'd be the first MLB guy to do that since Josh Donaldson and we talked about Kinley and Iglesias. Like I said, I don't disagree that we maybe should switch them right now until Kinley figures out his mechanics, but I don't think it's gonna happen because Will Smith. We dealt with this with Will Smith, and then he became Nails in September. So I'm hoping for kind of the same story because Snicker doesn't really like to make moves like that. Yes, Kinley's been struggling. We all know it. He knows it. Everybody knows it. But I don't think there's an easy fix there because I think you've just got to continue pitching to figure it out. I mean, obviously the side sessions and all that, but the same pressures are they're not the same pressures. So and Kinley's has 390 saves. So Kinley's head and mental state is totally fine. I just think, okay, he's portraying that he's totally fine. And he's handled the struggles amazingly in terms of with the media and such. So I don't see any problems there.
That's why Spectrum Mobile makes mobile easy. Unlimited data.
But I think it's a 1 year for Kinley because I think Iggy ends up taking the closer role for next year and beyond. Yeah, I think 7 hits total, 1 earned, and maybe 1 extra inning run, extra runner. I think is about all. Yeah, I mean it's basically Will Smith from the left side last year, Kinley from the right side this year. It's basically the same problem we had. It's really a carbon copy, so hopefully Kinley turns back into Kinley, Mariano Rivera type in the postseason, and we won't have to worry about it. But again, Snickers. Excuse me. Snicker is pretty steadfast in his bullpen moves, so we'll see. Yeah, we have options on top of options on top of options in terms of postseason and things of that nature. So we'll see what happens. Ozuna, yeah, Ozuna is what Ozuna is right now, and it's good to see him have better at bats. And I guess you have to kind of get his trade value up somehow. But obviously, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know what the whole plan is because I don't think he makes the postseason roster, but who knows? And everybody wants him released. And
the right guard. He was a tackle last year, and then the right tackle is an 18-year-old, a true freshman. Just the third true freshman to start a season opener tackle.
I mean, I don't.
In the history of Clemson football.
Ozuna Ozuna is a part of this team right now, and I don't.
I feel the cheesiest, but the chain puts the extra cheese on the cracker. Here, look at this. It's the cheesiest chain. This is the cheesiest day of my life. Cheesy. You want the cheesiest. Then on the turnover chain, you got the cheesy chain. Trying to get Luke's to wear that today.
I'd rather. I don't see Ozuna being a long-term part of this team. I really don't. But him recuperating his trade value with a couple of good series and stuff, because I really don't see him being part of the playoff roster. I just don't, because he's a liability defensively. Yes, money talks, and you can't. That's the reason he's still on our roster right now. But that's all I'll say about that. He's part of our team, and when he does something good, I'll give him a golf clap. But I don't. But other than that, it is what it is. It really is. Yeah. He's not going to be on the playoff roster. I don't care, money or no money. He's not going to be on the playoff roster. There's no way. Vaughn Grisham deserves it, or Eddie Rosario, Robbie Grossman. They're better defensively. I honestly think Jake Marisnick will be on the roster as well as a defensive guy, especially since Ronald's knee is a little balky. So I don't see it. Money or no money, I don't see Ozuna on the playoff roster. Yeah, they do. You can't. I think it's maybe one extra spot on the postseason roster. I believe 28. So I just don't think Ozuna is going to be on the playoff roster. But I could be wrong. But just the way everything is, plus when Ozzy comes back, Arcia, Vaughn Grisham, you've got a lot of things. Look at the stats of what? There's just a lot more there's a lot more versatility that other players bring than Ozuna for the playoff roster. I don't know. Things can change. Injuries can happen, but that's just my opinion. Yeah, I just don't. Money or no money, and that's pretty much the only reason he's on the roster right now, because we almost pulled off a trade with the Marlins to get rid of Ozuna for obviously Garcia, but the Marlins backed out at the end. So I think that's the only reason. I don't know. I really don't. There's in my brain, there's no way that Ozuna makes it.
Ran for 3 touchdowns in a game here last year against North Carolina. Loose contained. Miles Murphy came inside a little bit. Opened up the back door for Jeff Sims.
Deeper. No, because their bullpen is definitely not deeper than ours. Their lineup, no, there's not a lot of power. Yeah, they have more put in play ability, but I think that's about all they may. I think that's maybe all they have on us is the ability to put it in play more. They do put it in play more. That's it. But again, we.
So they're going to go for the field goal. Jim Kelly is 1 for 6 in his career, and this is a 50-yard attempt. That's no good.
But that in their rotation, depending on Scherzer, Cookie Carrasco's coming back from the oblique. He didn't look great yesterday. Chris Bassett has been a good piece for them, but he hasn't really pitched in postseason play too much. And obviously Scherzer, DeGrom. Depending on Scherzer's injury, DeGrom, yes, and Edwin Diaz. But getting to Edwin Diaz is going to be the big issue for the Mets, unless they say pull off a Nationals and just use basically 4 pitchers and Edwin Diaz. I don't know that you can really rely too heavily on that. But no, we're the deeper team, I believe, on so many levels. So I haven't. Deeper and thicker? Yeah, we're definitely the deeper and thicker team in a lot of ways. Because basically, Charlie Morton's our number 4. And
how will your business adapt to change? You could hire an office full of Pete Alonso.
Well, Pete Alonso and the Flying Squirrel, because he always seems to annoy us. But yeah, Pete Alonso is definitely the circle guy in the Mets lineup. Where you go, you don't want him to beat you for sure. And whereas our lineup, there's circle guys all over the lot, because 1 through 9 we can go deep and put up great at bats and things of that nature. So yeah, Lindor's put up a pretty solid season too, but and we strike out a lot, but against the best pitchers, we've seemed to put up better competitive, great at bats against DeGrom, against Sandy Alcantara, against Shohei Ohtani. I think we put up a lot of strikeout numbers, but we also can give you good at bats at the same time. So it's just part of it. It's how our lineup is, and it's a great thing. So there's no way in my mind that the Mets are a deeper, thicker team. closer-wise, I mean, Edwin Diaz has been amazing, and that's the one thing that the Mets will have to figure out, of course. Yeah, the Braves never lose thing, and obviously we do, but we haven't lost a lot, so let's keep that going for sure.
Obviously, the most important individual trophy in college football history is named after him. He not only coached football at Georgia Tech and Clemson, he coached baseball places too. Wow.
I'm glad the Mets are upset. It means that we're doing, and it means that we're doing what we're supposed to, and being pests and being annoying and being the good baseball team that we are. And I know people bash Snicker for his bullpen management, and I don't agree with a lot of his stuff, but he is the perfect person for this team, and I don't want him to. And I do not want him to leave anytime soon. Just
Will Shipley saw with a touchdown. He hasn't had that big of a factor in this game. Excellent catcher of the football in the backfield. DJ looking at it. Now airs it out. Got a man this time. Inside the 40 by Collins. Inside the 35. Finally, ball thrown down the field. And it gets him inside the 35, 26 yards. What's a nice throw. Good clean pocket for DJ.
Sorry.
Corner out there by Bo Collins. Coverage sitting way back. Nice pitch and catch to move the chains. Yeah, snap a little off. Swing pass to Shipley. Did this a lot last year. Shipley has the edge. And knocked out of bounds at the 20, but 14 more yards for Shipley. What's excellent blocking on the perimeter. Spector and Gata.
Sorry for
securing their blocks, allowing Shipley to get out of the open space.
the allergies.
Right on catching the ball so fluid out of the backfield. You get him in space, and it's a problem.
I could care less about the Mets being upset over a walk-up song. I really could care less. I think it's hilarious. I think we should play Narco when we get back home. All our
Really nice job putting his foot in the ground, making that safety miss. Claps his hands, wishing he could have kept
all our walk-up songs.
I think they would have done a lot more of this with him a year ago.
Narco, but excuse me. Sorry for the allergies. That happens when I talk a lot. But yeah, I mean, I think it's the dumbest thing ever that people are making a big deal out of Narco and the walk-up songs and all that jazz is dumb. No problem. Chris, nice to see you, nice to meet you, and thanks for the support and amazing stuff. I really want to win the division because I won at least a 5-game series. Just, because anything can happen in a 3-game series. We all know that. And does anybody really understand the Padres? But I think it's one of the things where you're just like making a lot of moves for a lot of big name players doesn't necessarily doesn't necessarily equal wins, and that's why I love what Alex Anthopoulos and company do, Dana Brown and our entire coaching staff, kind of just making sure that players want to be here. It fits our organization and what matters and what means there. So I really appreciate that part. And that's the fun thing about sports. You never know what happens, but putting a lot of stars on one roster something really doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna win in baseball at all. And I think that's what the Padres are learning, and the Arizona Diamondbacks are just being very, very, very pesky and annoying. So I'm really glad we got done with them when we did, because they got a lot of good young players and amazing pitching. What Zach Gallen is doing, holy wow. 41 2/3 scoreless, nearing Oral Hershiser's record. And that was another Marlin, I believe, and that was part of one of the Marcell Ozuna trades, I believe. So people want to redo the Sandy Alcantara for Marcell Ozuna in St. Louis. I think Miami wants to redo the Zach Gallen to Arizona, even though I think they did get Jazz Chisholm out of it, but still, it's crazy what they've been able to do. But yeah, they've been super pesky, and it's crazy how the Brewers continue to fall off. They can't score. They have never, the last 3 or 4 years, they always have the pitching, but they can never marry the offense.
Hey guys, this is just my workout.
But
we know you're the green hawk.
Everyone else.
It's bananas.
You're still wearing your mask.
But yeah, I mean, baseball's been super, super fun. And obviously what the Braves have done.
I will bring it to him. I came here for one reason. That's to love this country.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Hader has been dealing with a lot of personal stuff, so I think that has gone into it. I think his wife had a premature daughter, and it's still not great. And these guys are human, so that might have a factor in his. But Juan Soto's not really Juan Soto since he came to San Diego, so it's a weird one. I'm just not really sure.
2 shows now. Yes, sir. Pat Perry, a guest
There.
on our shows.
But yeah, I don't know. I think AJ Preller just tries to push buttons, and it doesn't makes a trade just to make a trade, not necessarily for it to fit. Because the clubhouse is weird, and then the Fernando Tatis stuff, and Eric Hosmer was apparently a big leader, big piece in that clubhouse for morale purposes and that whole thing and all that jazz. And it's just so it's very, very, very strange.
Jeff Sims going to work, and got his favorite target, Nate McCullum, a first down out to the 40s. A critical 4 minutes here for Georgia Tech, and they get anything going to come up with points before halftime. A lot of zone coverage here today from Clemson, and you need to. You got a mobile quarterback.
But yeah, any other questions or topics we didn't address that you want to?
Well, it does. You start to see some of the motion and the shifts that are letting Jeff Sims know if they're in man or zone. try to simplify things pre-snap. Sims to the air.
College football has been nuts.
Despite being under duress for a gain of 7. Tyler Davis, the nice inside move. How about Jeff Sims showing some strength and pocket presence to step up, not go down to the big defensive tackle, and locate his running back out of the backfield. Heads up play.
Clemson is winning 14-0 on Georgia Tech right now. Actually, closer than I thought it would be. 2:54 in the second quarter.
Georgia Tech to get set up, second down and 3. McCollum, and he's got a first down into Clemson territory.
But yeah, San Diego's a weird, like all the wild card teams in the National League. I mean, outside of us, depending on who wins the NL East, the Phillies, their bullpen and their lineup is weird. They just got swept by the Giants, who aren't playing well, and they're kind of weird, going from 107 wins to 60 some this year. It's just odd, and I can't even remember a big move they made at the trade deadline to supplant their team, which is odd because those years don't come around too often. But
Get his hands on him, and this is one. Nate Wiggins going to be kicking himself. Chance to be one of the pre-work covers in college football. Wide open across the middle. E.J. Jenkins inside the 35. So gain of 16. Plenty of time here. 2:18 and counting with 3 timeouts. They brought Trenton Simpson, vacate that space, and replace where the blitz comes from. Nice job. Once again by Jenkins. E.J. Jenkins transfer from South Carolina.
But yeah, the Phillies don't necessarily scare me because Zach Wheeler's out and Aaron Nola. I mean, he has flash in the pan of good starts here and there, but it doesn't really scare too much. And I mean, anything, but the problem is anything can happen in a 3-game series. So I really want to win the division, so that we're at least guaranteed a 5-game series. But yeah, I really like where we're sitting right now, and obviously things can change. But what are we, 20-5 in our last 25? So, and could have been better with a couple annoying wins in there. So, talking about continuing consistency and winning. But like I asked this earlier, and I don't know, but I don't know if anybody caught it. But will we be scared next year and years going forward if we start off well? Because the last 2 years we haven't started off well at all and ended up winning the World Series and possibly repeating this year. So maybe we should just not start off amazing because we're on. So it's insane just to think about. But I can tell you that it is so much fun to be a Braves fan, and how we run our organization is phenomenal. And yeah, the NFL is going to be fun. Do you have a inkling on Bills Rams? Who do you think is going to win opening night?
What's the password?
Okay, P23 XR ampersand.
Dude, the cat's lock is on! I'm gonna space a cable.
Bills Rams. Me and my dad are in a pick'em thing where confidence. Yeah, I'm gonna trust that Alex Anthopoulos. I trust in any Alex Anthopoulos move, and we have Max until 2024, so we will see there. I'm sure he'll get it done, and we'll see what happens. He's gonna do whatever is best for the team for sure. Obviously.
Swing, swing, swing. You family clan kings. Swing, swing, swing. That beast's got wings. Swing, swing, swing. Spin that thing.
But yeah.
That's it. Swing, swing, swing. For the win. Duluth free swinging flannel for him and her. Designed and tested to swing, swing, swing. Only Duluth Trading.
But yeah, some of the NFL pick'em games we have this week are Buffalo Rams, Philly, Detroit, New England, Miami, Jacksonville, Washington, Cleveland, Carolina, Green Bay, Minnesota, Kansas City, Arizona, and Tampa, Dallas are the NFL pick'em games for our thing this week, and it's confidence. So not a lot of fun, easy-ish picks at all, but hopefully your Tennessee Titans can take a step forward. I was in a survivor pool last year, and when the Titans lost to the Jets, I lost in the survivor pool, so that was kind of annoying. But
We're debating during the break whether they ran that last play to get a little bit closer to the kicker or to maybe go for it on fourth down. And he ran right to the hash, and clearly Jeff Collins might walk away with some points out of this drive. Plenty of time for Clemson, too. They called the timeout earlier, and from 45 yards.
But yeah, I think we covered everything that I can think of.
All right, guys, coming up with the Sling TV halftime report. We look back at Florida State's win last night. What a game it was. Let's have the top three fared over the weekend, and we'll get an early.
I think I covered everything I think of. A lot of new faces in the live, a lot of good conversation, a lot of spicy conversation, a lot of fun conversation. I think I will see you guys next Friday when we play the Philadelphia Phillies. Obviously, I will have all the West Coast games covered. I can't wait to go see the trophy on Wednesday. That's going to be awesome. So again, thanks everybody for joining. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that madness. It really helps out. Takes about 5 seconds, so really helps me out a lot. These are really helping out the watch hours, so I love doing this, and I'm glad everybody seems to. So this is really awesome, and thanks again. As always, go Braves, champions forever. I might do a live. Yeah, I might do a live on definitely next Friday, maybe earlier than that. I will post it on my Twitter and some other social media feeds so you can know about it and hang out and talk sports and just have fun. But thanks again for joining, and have a good night, y'all, and have a great rest of your Labor Day.
And great throw to Bo Collins on the last touchdown. We'll see if they get more points. That'll be flagged down, though.